We have actual evidence that the deputy in the arrest of Natasha Lopez intentionally lied under oath and committed the offense of perjury. London Mayor Randall Weddle did get the most votes in the most recent election, but is still likely to lose his re-election bid. I'll explain more about that. And the yard sale cop failed miserably in his bid for sheriff of Warren County, Kentucky, all in this week's episode of The Rebuttal. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Southern Draw Law. My name is James White, criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor, former police officer, and this is The Rebuttal. This is our opportunity just to clear up a few things, do a few mini updates, and talk about what's going on the channel. I just wanted to give you sort of an announcement. I guess I'm going to continue to do The Rebuttal. I've had a buddy of mine that you guys will know as John Lang, who obviously is the original creator of the Audit channel, the Audit the Court channel, and the John Lang channel. He and I are friends and we talk quite a bit, and he suggested to me that maybe a good transition for The Rebuttal is to just sort of use it as a way to connect with the audience and talk about stuff that's on my mind, talk about changes in what's going on, just sort of an informal thing. So I'm going to continue the Rebuttal series. I'll try to do it, weekly or, every other week or something like that. But just to sort of connect with you guys, just to sort of update you on stuff that maybe doesn't warrant an official update, doesn't warrant an entire video, and also maybe talk about little things that come up along the way that are just on my mind, maybe some informal stuff. We're just going to play with it and see how you guys respond to it. I know that ultimately it's not the show that every single person who watches my content is going to watch, and that's okay, but it is something that's just for the people that really kind of watch whatever I put out. So thank you guys for that. We'll continue to sort of evolve this show as it goes along, but it'll be mostly informal, just talking about various topics that will change from week to week. And thank you, John Lang, for the suggestion. So we'll see how this plays out, see how you guys like it. But first item on our docket for the day is that Natasha Lopez has gotten discovery that proves definitively that Aaron Mills, or Charles Aaron Mills, the corrupt, feckless deputy from Cherokee County, Georgia, actually committed the offense of perjury. So in the process of reviewing discovery materials, Natasha came across evidence that Mills lied about her son's address in order to secure a warrant. See, remember, Chris Helms, which is her son, who was the subject of this dangerous speeding investigation, as Cherokee County reported it to be on their news release or public statement or whatever, he was living in apartments somewhere, some ways away from where Natasha lives. Under current case law, if you're arresting someone at someone else's house, you need a search warrant to search for that person, and you need an arrest warrant. An arrest warrant only works if you're at the house of the person. Mills lied on the application, committed the offense of perjury, and under oath in a statement to the court, he alleged that Mr. Helms lived at Natasha's residence, and that is not true. So actually, the truth of the matter is, even the arrest warrant that authorized the arrest of Joseph Christopher Helms from Natasha's home, which again had nothing to do with him barging into her house and trying to get the phone. That was for the phone that he didn't have a warrant for. He didn't have a search warrant for Natasha's home. But the important interplay that exists between those two positions is that in order to arrest Christopher at Natasha's home, he needed a search warrant to search for Christopher. The only way he gets an arrest warrant that would be able to be served on Christopher in the curtilage of his mother's home is if he lived there. And Mills falsely alleged that Joseph Christopher Helms lived at Natasha's house, knowing that that's not where he lives. So it'll be interesting to see what, if any, effect that has on the way that the case progresses against both Helms and Natasha in this particular case. We'll keep you updated. I may do an entire video breaking down the discrepancies between these documents, and it will be catalyst for a new post-complaint, this time evidence, hard evidence turned into the court of perjury. Wonder if Todd Hayes will decide that he needs to actually charge Mills with perjury now that we have documentation that we're going to put out for the whole world to see that he actually lied under oath in order to obtain a warrant that he didn't even have probable cause for in the first place. So keep you posted on that. Second item on the docket is the London mayoral election. Now, The results are in, and yes, I have to admit, though it is difficult for me to, that Randall Weddle did get the most votes. But the second most vote getter was Matthew Orr. Weddle got 922 votes, and Matthew Orr got 911 votes. That is a delta of 11 votes. Tracy Hanley, who had been appointed as interim mayor when Weddle was initially removed and then reinstated by a judicial process, she got 171 votes. So what does that tell you? I mentioned this in a previous episode. Generally, when you have 2 or 3 candidates running, the people who vote for someone other than Randall Weddle are people who will still continue to vote for someone other than Randall Weddle most of the time. And so people who voted for Tracy Hanley will still probably vote for Matthew Orr in the general election, which is supposed to happen in November. So unless something drastically changes between now and then, which again, Weddle's under indictment for felony campaign contributions to Andy Bashir's campaign. There's been a challenge judicially to his ability to even run because he doesn't live in the city of London. All these things are going on. There's a possibility he won't even be able to be on the ballot in the first place. But even if he's on the ballot, I would have to imagine that all of the votes that came in for Matthew Orr will remain. And then most of, if not all of the votes that came in for Tracy Hanley are going to go for anyone who runs against Randall Weddle. So there's a very good chance that Weddle will be out of a job come November, no matter what happens, but we'll keep you posted, obviously. And then one of the races that I didn't even really talk about too much, and one of the ways that you can know that there's an indication that the people in this area are finished with the leadership class that currently has power there, is that David Westerfield, this judge executive whose weed eater was the predicate for Doug Harless being murdered in his own home back in December of 2024, was unseated by his challenger in this primary election, which means that he will no longer be the judge executive in Laurel County. And so to the extent that other people were subject to being murdered over his inability to secure his lawn equipment, that ain't going to be an issue anymore for the people of Laurel County. Of course, the sheriff, John Root, who basically created the separation, and I know that there's a lot of things being said in every direction about everybody running for office there, but Sheriff John Root did win re-election. He was successful in his primary campaign against Robbie Grimes, but it was a much closer race than any of the other ones that we've watched. He got 6,270 votes to Robbie Grimes' 5,646 votes. Westerfield got 5,385 votes, and Walter Hewlett, who won the election, got 5,562 votes. And then the final item on the docket for the day is that yard sale deputy Mark Youngs, or however the hell you say his name, was absolutely laughed out of the polling locations in Warren County, Kentucky. There were a total of 9,103 votes for the sheriff primary. Yard sale deputy got 698 out of 9,100 votes. It's almost like everybody in the world knew what he was except him, and except the 700 other people he was able to manipulate into voting for him. Either way, I know nothing about the incumbent sheriff, Brett Hightower, other than he fired this dickhead for doing what he did in front of the whole world and criminalized selling things in your yard. He also was involved in some kind of scandal where he took somebody's phone improperly and searched it on a traffic stop. There were a lot of problems with this guy. I'm happy that his campaign failed. Yard sale deputy Mark Youngs, maybe, just maybe, take some time, find a mirror, talk to the person you see about the fact that personal responsibility is the roadmap to fixing everything that's wrong in your life. If you want to know what's wrong with your life, just go inside anywhere with a mirror, take some time, and have a conversation with that person, because the person that you see is responsible for everything that is going on that needs to be fixed about your existence. And hopefully you will either never try to enter politics again, or you will take some time to try to get in touch with the person who got you here, which is you. Anyway, that's all for this one, guys. That's the update. This is the rebuttal. We're going to try some different stuff. Let me know whether you like it, dislike it, whatever the case may be. But I'm still going to be here doing the regular stuff, giving you the updates, giving you the news as I understand it to be. Thank you guys for listening and supporting the channel. Please remember to like and subscribe and leave a comment on the video. Check out some of the other videos on the channel. Leave a comment on there as well. Until I see you again, take care. Always film your interactions with the police and keep your evidence to yourself.